Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review and reaction to Succession Season 4, Episode 5, Kill List. I am here as a proud graduate of Hanna-Barbera Business School. I am here with Scooby-Doo. Here, we're doing some
Oh,
Scooby-Dooing in here. Zoinks! Ruh-roh.
oh,
See, here we go. We're don't leave this video. We have serious business that we have to talk about
oh!
throughout.
You guys will leave the video a little bit later when I get to my controversial take about Greg.
Okay, well, I think this episode does a lot of things that are really really great. It's got some great
Yes.
one-liners. Like I loathe Matsson in such a very specific way, and I think it's sort of that way where I look at him and I'm just sort of like, why do you get to have all of this money? Because it's sort of like you're already
Jealousy has entered the
you are
chat,
already
everyone.
Alexander Skarsgård. Like, how is it fair? You don't get to have both.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Okay, before we get too far into this video, hit that subscribe button. We are here every Sunday talking about Succession. We're also covering Yellow Jackets here, Ted Lasso, Blacklist, Survivors, lots of great stuff going on here at the channel. So stick with us and follow us over on our Instagram, Matt and Jess TV. There's some fun new pictures up from the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna get into my controversial Greg take right away. So if you guys are like, I'm not here for this, then you know where I'm standing on this. We all enjoy Greg. We all like Greg. I mean, my issue this season is that Greg hasn't really had enough to do. And since Logan's passing, he hasn't really had anything to do. And in this particular episode, I'm just going to say it. He shouldn't have been there, and he shouldn't have been in this episode. Please don't unsubscribe. But if you feel you have to, you have to. Listen, it's just he was not invited by Matsson to go there, and this is business. And the siblings are all trying to get their footing of where they are now with everyone else that's been there longer than them and what's going on. Greg had no reason to be there. And I know that they wanted him to probably be part of this so that he could have his one-liners and make everybody haha. But it's just like there was enough of that going on with the rest of the cast. It just didn't make sense to me. Why was he there? He wasn't invited.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I don't think Greg was needed in this episode. Like I really don't. Like, yeah, you got like a funny one-liner out of it where he's talking about other people being like, are they related to you as well? But it's just sort of like Greg this whole season has sort of just been around so that Tom can have someone to make fun of who is like less significant than him. And I know Greg has fulfilled that role before, but he is sort of considered a core cast member. And if you're going to have a core fat cast member as a part of this show the whole season, they actually should have a storyline. And that storyline shouldn't just be like, trying to talk down to Carrie and doing a really bad job at it.
Yeah, I just feel like when Tom sort of made this deal with Greg last season to be like, hey, you want to make a deal with the devil and we're going to do this together and, put your hands in, we're in, all in, let's go. That then now, even though Logan is gone, he should still be brought in a way that makes sense for the plot of what's going on. So everybody is invited by Matsson to come out there to talk about this deal. Greg shouldn't be there for that. It's just the way that it is. Matsson said, you're not on the list. Why are you here? Yeah, why are you here? And that's my controversial take on that. And I know that, we all really love Greg and he is really funny, but I think the way that they're putting the show together right now, where it's kind of like we're going through each day here and it's all very short period of time right after Logan passed away, it has to still make sense. Which brings me to my favorite moment of this whole episode, which is Roman's speech to Matsson. I mean, that was incredible. And it was really like put out there plainly where, Matsson has brought them all out and is like, I want ATN now. So, we're going to make this different deal. And, Matsson, he's sitting there being like, what would Logan do? Logan would tell you to you know what. Put the F's in the chat. There's no way. If Logan was alive, Matsson wouldn't even be doing this. He would just be going forward with the way things are because Logan would have said no or F. There's no way that he would have done it. But because he's not there, Roman called it out. Our dad just died. You couldn't even wait until we're past the funeral yet. You got Connor out there dealing with it, and we're all here because you wouldn't even give us like a couple of days to get through it because you want to try to take something that you knew Logan wasn't going to give you in the first place.
It was a great scene. I think the reason it works is, I mean, it obviously seems like Kendall and Roman planned it, but at the same time, I think Roman also meant it, and I think
He meant it.
It's one of those things where you tell a joke sometimes and you mean it as a joke, but then you also kind of mean it, and sometimes it's how you get away with saying what you really feel. That is sort of what's going on here with Roman, and it does feel like this is obviously the thing that gets Matsson to come back and sort of make this deal, and I don't think it's necessarily Matsson just being sort of self-reflective. I think it's Matsson sort of just recognizing the optics of the situation and being like, well, Kendall and Roman may have been terrible in a lot of their negotiation. And yes, I feel like they were. They were talking all over each other. They had no clear plan, no vision. He understood that if they went to the press at any point and were just like, Matsson made us come out and do this days after our father passed away. Like, that negates any sort of leverage that he ever has. He looks like the bad guy. You're in the media business. You have to look like you at least have some element of a heart.
Yeah, Matsson may not care, but he does have to keep up some sort of appearance with that. And those are some bad optics that it's, right after Logan's passed away and he's pulled everybody out of mourning, out of their grief, getting ready for the funeral to come out there and like placate him into what he wants. That now he's like, oh, all of a sudden I want ATN. Well, Logan clearly didn't want you to have it. That's why it wasn't part of the deal.
It's a situation, I think, with Matsson where he is, I mean, I go back to what I said at the video. Look at the guy, and I'm not just saying this to be joking. It's just like, Matsson is clearly somebody who has gotten a lot of what he has wanted in life, except for, I guess, Ebba and the blood situation, which we'll get back to. But usually, he is very used to getting exactly what he wants. So I think he thinks that he can just sort of go in there and be like, I want ATN, and sort of say it, and it's like, cool, look at me, I'm like a hipster rich bro who probably like lives in some sort of van and has like all his various sort of herbs and essences flowing all over the place, but really I'm cutthroat. He's such a poser that he thinks he can sort of get away with a lot of this, and it probably works with a lot of people.
It was very interesting to see that conversation with him and Shiv where he was being a little more open about some of the stuff he's been doing, the kind of weirdness, how weird this joke went, and her giving him a little bit of advice. I wish we had actually had a chance to see more of that because clearly more was said. Because by the time they get to the end of this, where Roman is like, put the F's in the chat, we're out of here, the deal is done, we're not having you, I just hate you. And he comes back and is like, okay, then I'm gonna offer so much money you just can't say no to. That minute of a call to Shiv to be like, take a picture of their faces and send it to me. I want to see what those boys look like right now. I mean, he clearly really is like, I need to be the top dog. And, Roman's just told me off, told me he's not going to allow this deal to go through. Let's see you not take this deal now, Roman. Show me their faces. I was just like, wow, okay, that's pretty dark.
Okay, I'm just going to put on the tinfoil hat here for a moment because was the story that Matsson told the Shiv real? And this is where
he's so weird.
This is where I'm going. A part of me believes it, but it's also, I mean, I guess there's an interesting question where if it's not real, you still put the time into thinking of this, so that makes you pretty demented in itself. But here's I think the idea, regardless of why it's real or not. I think a lot of why he tells Shiv this is I think he is testing her. I think he wants to see exactly how she would respond to this sort of crisis, shall we say,
Mhm.
because I think he believes that, and he even says this year at one point in a conversation. I think he sees more of Logan in her than he saw in either Kendall or Roman. And while he doesn't necessarily like Logan, I think he has a certain respect for the
Yes.
instincts that Logan had. I think he wants to keep Shiv on to some degree, whatever that intention might be. I suppose we will find out over time, but I think he really sees a lot of value in Shiv, and I think he sees her as somebody who could really run a lot of things more so than these other two. You know, I know these aren't the disgusting brothers, but we could call them that anyway. But it's just there's something going on with Matsson and Shiv. Let's just put it out there and acknowledge it.
Yeah, there's something going on, and it doesn't necessarily mean like something's
Yeah.
going on, but there is something there that he respects. I mean, she was pretty honest with him where she was like, "Hey, here's my unsolicited advice. Stop sending blood. Like
Yeah.
let's start there at the very least. Like this doesn't look good. You can't really have any kind of deniability. She has your blood. Like,
Yeah.
this is, but here's a way that maybe you could kind of maneuver this situation. And the fact that she can really think outside the box on a lot of these things, it is why she's been successful away from the company before she really got involved in the company. And it's she's in a really tough situation because she's not one of the top dogs, but then you've got the brothers where Kendall's not really keeping her in the loop. And Roman said multiple times in this episode, we need to call Shiv in. Let's call Shiv in. Where's Shiv? She needs to hear this. Like he's really staying true to what he said that, while she's not, one of the top dogs right now, it is still the three of them and he's keeping that to be true. But Kendall is not.
That's because I spent all of the last video just like trying
Kendall
to.
is a killer
Yeah,
now.
I was trying to eviscerate Kendall the whole. I still don't like Kendall. I still don't like his just straight up facade he's putting on. Where are these reports coming from about, dad being roasted in the press? You did this. Yes, he is becoming more of a killer,
Yes,
as you
he
alluded
is.
to. He is sort of doing the thing that his father could not think that he did. I still don't think he's the right person to run any of this at the end of the day, just because I do not think he is stable enough. I think he vacillates way too much between one thing, the other. He seems completely miserable all of the time. None of this seems to make him happy.
Yeah, and that's why, even though I know the three siblings together aren't always on the same page, and if they could just actually trust each other, I do think that the three of them could work off each other in a way that makes all three of them very successful and continues to make the company very successful. They each do fill a role. But the problem is that they've been sort of brought up to not trust anyone, not trust themselves. Like it's all just a problem to keep them all apart, that they can't come together. And that's sort of the legacy that's been left behind.
Let's talk some chaos here, because here's the thing. They agree on something. They get a good offer at the end, but then the closing minutes, we find out in the plane about the kill list and the people who are on this kill list. You guys gonna do my guy Frank like this?
It's pretty much everybody except like Jerry and Tom. Like, I mean,
How can you do this to Hugo? He has an amazing metabolism. Apparently, you can't do that. The Fisher Stevens is probably like my favorite low key part of this episode, where he is just like passive aggressively, just like
so
burning all of these different people, these different schmoes that are out there in Norway. But I think the thing here is that while we can all say that, Carl and Frank and Hugo, these are not the most electric personalities in the world.
no, he basically cut the old guard.
Yeah.
I mean, Matsson's got a lot of young people around him. And while Jerry is not, the youngest of the group there, she obviously brings a lot to the table that he respects.
This old guard, they're going to go to the board. they're gonna pout, they're gonna pitch a fit, they're gonna do whatever they need to do. It's gonna create a whole new chaotic situation, and this all brings us back to Marsha.
I
Marsha, Marsha,
know.
Marsha.
I know.
This there this is all gonna get so much messier than we ever would have thought by the end of all of this.
Okay, one last thing about this kill list. Is Shiv behind the kill list? Because when Shiv was having this conversation with Madsson, he brought up everything that was going on sort of with his person, oh, she's, kind of not that great at everything. How's Carolina? Oh, she's great. She's amazing. Oh, Jerry's also really good. How are things with Tom? Things are on the rocks, but he's good. Who are the three people that are not on the kill list? Them. So, I mean, I think that her relationship with Madsson is a lot closer than, we might think. And I think that she influenced the kill list.
It all goes back to everything we said earlier, right? Where it's just a situation where he values her. He thinks that she is a major player in all of this. And, this could very well make it all make so much more sense.
Yeah.
Can we have a minute or two, though, to get into Connor's Corner?
Let's get into Connor's Corner, where he has to deal with Marsha, who wants to put Logan in a kilt.
Okay,
I don't know why she thinks that that's going to fly. Clearly, she still is harboring some angry feelings here. I mean, she knows that he would not go for that.
Okay, now I have a question for you, since you are a former funeral director here.
Yes.
Connor says that he wants to go into the embalming room and throw some weight around, which I have no idea what this would mean. Number one is, would anyone ever come into the embalming room and throw some weight around?
Okay, well, listen, in my years of being a funeral director and being in the embalming room, 0 people have asked to come in.
Yeah.
But I would think that would just be a no. I mean, at the funeral home that I worked at, it would be a no. We would find a way to gently let them know that that's not a thing that's going to happen. You're not coming into the embalming room. It's for people who are there to embalm that are licensed to do so. It's not the place for the public to be like, you know what? I just want to come in and watch what's going on. And, you think you might be okay with it, and some people might be, but you're not going to be.
You know who's really not going to be? Connor. There is no way Connor is going into that embalm. Now, the thing that I think I enjoyed, actually even more than Connor in this episode, was like Willa just like tagging on his shirt or whatever, just being like, "Don't let them talk bad to you. Don't let them put you down." She is now not only his wife, she's also like she's like his life coach at this point. He like needs her to be on his shoulder at all times.
No, I really like that. Like now that they're married, I mean, she really is like, I'm by your side. We are doing this.
The best, most romantic couple in succession. Congratulations,
right.
Connor
and
Willa.
We also saw some couple behavior maybe with Tom and Shiv. I mean, we saw that whole weird thing where he flicked her ear and like
what was that?
Just kicking dirt on his shoes. I was just like, this is so weird. But by the end of it, she was kind of like, looks like this deal might be going through. And if it's going through, ATN is gone. So we're going to have to make some changes. And Tom's like, yeah, really? We're really going to go there, Shiv? Yeah, we got to get rid of Sid. You want to have dinner? I was like, hello. I mean, I said it in the last video. Yeah. I'll say it here too. Shiv is going to need an ally that has some sort of power. He is not on the kill list. So if this sort of does all go forward and Kendall continues to sort of kind of cut her out and he's doing things behind Roman's back, behind her back and doing whatever, at some point she is going to need somebody on her side to move forward in the company. And Tom's not a bad choice. He's able to maneuver and roll with the punches and adapt as it comes.
He is ambitious. He is at your service.
He's at your service.
Those are the things that Tom is good at. Just don't give him a chance to jump ahead of you in the pecking order and everything will be A-okay.
All right, so here's the big question to you guys. To you.
All right.
Do you think that they're actually going to move forward with this deal? I mean, is the board really going to all vote on this deal, especially with the amount of people that are on this kill list?
I don't think it's gonna work out. Like I just don't. It's too simple a way for this show to end, to just be like, okay, Matsson's in charge, everybody else
Oh,
just leaves. That's it. And then yeah, we gotta deal with this like smarmy guy forever. It's no. What's gonna happen is Carl and wait, is Carl my guy or was it Frank? I don't even remember which one is my guy anymore, but
Frank is your guy.
re-
Hugo is my guy.
really none of these people need to be my guy, but okay, Carl, you can be my guy here. So I think Carl and Hugo and Frank, the three stooges, they are going to find a way to muck all this up. It's not going to happen. Something's going to go very wrong. Kendall's then going to try to get out in front of it and be like, this was my plan all along, dramaturgically, whatever it was Jeremy Strong said in that interview. It is not the right thing for me to do. And then that's ultimately going to be what's happening. There's going to be a lot of infighting, and I'm staying by my prediction that Jerry is still going to come out on top in the end.
I mean, Jerry's in a good spot
Yeah.
already. I mean, it's seemingly if the company stays together, she's still going to be there. And if she's over with Matsson and all that, she's not on the kill list. So, I mean, it seems like wherever she's landing on her feet.
My other big prediction is that Connor's not going to be president, but Connor is going to be Ross Perot. He's just going to like impact the election just enough to like completely taint the results and get it like tilted in one way or another.
I'm very curious to see who is going to end up on top because I feel like it's not going to be any of the siblings. I'm not saying that they're going to end up like destitute or like, whatever, living in a box on the street or something really horrible happening to them, but I just don't see it kind of playing out that way. Like, this is not a happy feel good show. This is a ruthless show. And there's a lot of people that really want to be at the top. And I'm not saying that the siblings don't, but if they can't come together, they're going to pull each other apart.
All right, well, we will see if that starts to happen next week. But for now, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We don't want you guys to miss anything. Check out our Instagram at Matt and Jess
Yep.
TV, and we'll see you here next time.